Before he gave us Watchmen, before he gave us Man of Steel, even before he gave us his big cut of Justice League, Zack Snyder gave us this. Let's talk about 300, which is turning 15 this month. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings my fellow YouTubers and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name's Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2007 epic historical action flick 300, released by Warner Bros., directed by Zack Snyder, who also co-wrote the script. Based on the 1998 comic series of the same name by Frank Miller and Len Varley. Both are fictionalized retellings of the Battle of Thermopylae and, in the Persian Wars. And Miller served as executive producer and consultant. Now, it was filmed mostly with a superimposition chroma key technique to replicate the imagery of the original comic book. Now, although it originally first premiered in December 2006 at the Butt Number in Austin, it wouldn't be officially given until the following year. And I'm doing its review on today because today is the day it actually got released fully in the US. On March 9th, 2007, so it's its 15th anniversary. Anyway, the film stars Gerard Butler along with David Wenham, Lena Headey, Dominic West, and a host of others. Alright, let's get into the story. In 479 BC, 1 year after the Battle of Thermopylae, Delius, a hoplite in the Spartan army, begins his story by depicting the life of Leonidas the First. It's Leonidas. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Sorry. From childhood to kingship via Spartan doctrine. Delius' story continues, and a Persian herald arrives at the gates of Sparta, demanding earth and water as a token of submission to King Xerxes. The Spartans reply by throwing the envoy and his escort into a deep well. Leonidas, that's how I'll say it, so don't mind me, then visits the Ephors, proposing a strategy to drive back the numerically superior Persians through the hot gate. His plan involves building a wall in order to funnel the Persians into a narrow pass between the rocks and the sea, negating the Persian advantage in numbers and giving the Greeks' heavy infantry the advantage over the vast waves of Persian light infantry. The Ephors consult the oracle, who decrees that Sparta may not go to war during the Carnea. As Leonidas angrily departs, an agent from Xerxes appears, rewarding the Ephors for their covert support. Although the Ephors have denied him permission to mobilize Sparta's army, Leonidas gathers 300 of his best soldiers in the guise of his personal bodyguard. They are joined along the way by a force composed of a few thousand Arcadians and other Greeks. At Thermopylae, they construct the wall using slain Persian scouts as mortar. Stelios, an elite Spartan soldier, orders an enraged Persian emissary to return to his lines and warn Xerxes after cutting off his whipping arm. Meanwhile, Leonidas encounters let me see. Iphilis, excuse me if I mispronounced that, a deformed Spartan whose parents fled Sparta to spare him certain infanticide. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing these words. Bear with me, folks. Infanticide. That's it. Iphilis, that's how you say it. asks to redeem his father's name by joining Leonidas' army, warning him of a secret path the Persians could use to outflank and surround the Spartans. Though sympathetic, Leonidas rejects him since his deformity physically prevents him from holding his shield high enough, potentially compromising the phalanx formation. The battle begins soon after the Spartans' refusal to lay down their weapons. Using the hot gates to their advantage, as well as their superior fighting skills, the Spartans repel wave after wave of advancing Persian army. Xerxes personally approaches Leonidas and offers him wealth and power in exchange for his submission, but he declines and mocks the inferior quality of Xerxes' fanatical warriors. In response, Xerxes sends his elite guard, the Immortals. The Spartans nonetheless defeat them with few losses, with slight help from the Arcadians. On the second day, Xerxes sends new waves of armies from Asia and other Persian subject states, including war elephants to crush the Spartans, but to no avail. Meanwhile, an embarrassed Ephialtes, there I go again, sorry, defects to Xerxes, to whom he reveals the secret path in exchange for wealth, luxury, women, and the Persian uniform. The Arcadians retreat upon learning Ephialtes' betrayal, but the Spartans stay. Leonidas orders an injured but reluctant Delos to return to Sparta and tell them of what has happened, a tale of victory. Now for the final act and the ending. You know the procedure as always. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue on after the 5 seconds are over with. Thank you, and here we go. Okay, you've been warned. In Sparta, Queen Gorgo tries to persuade the Spartan council to send reinforcements to aid the 300. Theron, a corrupt politician, claims that he owns the council and threatens the queen, who reluctantly submits to his sexual demands in return for his help. When Theron disgraces her in front of the council, Gorgo kills him out of rage, revealing within his robe a bag of Xerxes' gold. Acknowledging his betrayal, the council unanimously agrees to send reinforcements. On the third day, the Persians, led by Ephialtes, traverse the secret path. Encircling the Spartans, Xerxes' general again demands their surrender. Leonidas seemingly kneels in submission, allowing Stelios to leap over him and kill the general. Angered, Xerxes orders his troops to attack. Leonidas throws his spear at Xerxes, barely missing him. The spear cuts across and wounds his face, proving the god king's mortality. Leonidas and the remaining Spartans fight to the last man, until they finally succumb to an arrow barrage. Delios, now back in Sparta, concludes his tale before the council. Inspired by Leonidas' sacrifice, the Greeks mobilize. 1 year later, the Persians face an army of 30,000 free Greeks led by a vanguard of 10,000 Spartans. After one final speech commemorating the 300, Delios, now head of the Spartan army, leads them to battle against the Persians across the fields of Plataea. End of story. So what did I think of 300? Well, I've only seen it maybe 2 or 3 times. I'm going to say this film's pretty brutal and pretty epic and what have you. When it came out, the film received mixed reviews as critics praised the visuals and style, but criticized its depiction of the Persians, with some characterized as bigoted or Iranophobic. Anyway, yeah. But nonetheless, this film was very epic and pretty brutal and what have you. This film's got tons of controversy and stuff like that. But anyway, all I can tell you is that 300 is A pretty cool movie. A bit underrated, but still pretty cool though. Anyway, the film did pretty well, as it went on to make $456 million worldwide. It would get a sequel later on called Rise of an Empire, which I unfortunately have yet to see. It's based on Miller's previously unpublished graphic novel prequel, Xerxes. And it was released in March of 2014. 7 years later after this. If I do happen to encounter this, I will review that. Now, apparently, this film has gotten a ton of spoofs and what have you, not just in films like Meet the Spartans, which will be released the following year. Let's see. Lots of other films as well. Even parody on Saturday Night Live, Robot Chicken, and wow, just about everything. Yeah. Nonetheless, I still thought it was pretty awesome, but I can understand why it got the criticism for the depiction of the Persians. I understand, but anyway, I also like the cast. Gerard Butler, especially as Leonidas, he was very good. David Wenham plays Delios, and Lena Headey plays Queen Gorgo. Very good. Let's see. Andrew Tiernan plays Ephialtes, and Rodrigo Santoro plays King Xerxes. We also have Michael Fassbender before he played Magneto in the X-Men movie prequels, and Dominic West playing Theron, who of course is not featured in the comic book. But anyway, yeah, the characters aren't too bad either. There was also scored by Tyler Bates, which is good. But anyway, that's about all I can tell you. So anyway, with a pretty decent cast and a good story and good action sequences, an epic soundtrack and what have you. Would I recommend 300? I'd say it's a draw between one-time watch and hell yeah. I think you be the judge if you haven't seen this movie. Anyway, this was still a big hit though. So anyway, 300, it's definitely very brutal and bloody too. So what are your thoughts on 300? Please tell me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And stay tuned because I'm going to have a little Disney Mania come out this Friday with another anniversary review, and it'll be on the main adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And then I will follow up with a spoiler-free review of Turning Red, the new Disney Pixar animated feature. So, thank you for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for these other recent flicks and what have you that are comic book based. In the upper left hand corner is my spoiler free review for Zack Snyder's Justice League from last year. The upper right hand corner is my new spoiler free review for The Batman, which just came out. Or if you want something else and what have you, something that may not be like these, you can go to the bottom left hand corner and see the playlist I made for the Lethal Weapon franchise. I've reviewed all 4 movies, and the review of the 4th film includes a ranking of the film franchise. In the bottom right corner of the button, you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.